People think that you have to have this high number to basically quit your job. You really don't. If you think about what your cost of living is, it's not a lot. So today you've probably noticed that my shooting location is very different than usual. That's because I'm at a friend's house, well, his parents' house. See, his parents have worked very hard for a number of years raising their kids, and now they have grandkids. And they've realized that they want to retire, but never really saved for retirement until the last few years. They've realized that when they do retire, they'll be dipping into that retirement account, and that'll be dwindling faster than they ever expected. So I'm here to help them with consulting to see on different strategies of how we can do cash flow without necessarily dipping too much into the retirement account. Some of those strategies that I'm going to be talking to them today are about doing a traditional rental of their home if they decide to downsize into something smaller, or doing short-term rental with their home, or even selling their home on seller financing if that's what they choose to do. See, what they've realized is that their American dream has changed. They've done it the traditional way of saving for retirement, and they realize that the retirement that they've saved for, which is true for most Americans, is not enough for what they want to do. They want to travel, spend time with their grandkids, and they don't want to necessarily worry about their retirement account running out. So today I'm here to just give them an overview and some options of what to do. So you're probably asking yourself, how do I live my American dream? There's three fundamental questions that you need to ask yourself. 1, what are you passionate about? 2, what are you good at? And 3, what are you willing to sacrifice to live your American dream? Right now, I've realized that I'm passionate about business and investing, and I realize that I'm good at business acquisitions. I also realize that I'm living pretty much my American dream, and at some times, finances do get a little tough, but I'm willing to make the sacrifice of not going and getting a W-2 job, because for me, that just doesn't work. That takes time away from my business. Earlier, I talked about the topic that we all could agree on, and that is shrinking middle class. And I agree that the middle class is shrinking. But the problem is we always focus on the middle class shrinking because the poor are getting poorer, but it's also shrinking because the rich are getting richer. People are moving out of the middle class in both areas, the low end and the upper end. If you want to talk about the lower end of the middle class, 2/3 of median income, you're looking at $40,500. If you're talking about the middle, $61,300. And if you're talking about the upper end, $122,000 per year. And just for your information, the lower class is considered $39,500 and the upper class is considered $118,000. Now I know that sounds weird. How is the upper middle class 122 but the upper class is considered 118? I don't know. These are those numbers. The most important aspect of these numbers is this is household income. Household income is defined as any persons above the age of 15 contributing income to the household. For my wife and I, it's just the two of us. For some of our friends that have kids that are old enough to work, I know for sure they're working, but they're not contributing their income to the household. Kids these days are either buying video games, prom dresses, or whatever it is. So if you talk about cost of living in some of our cities in America compared to hourly wages, it's not very great. The highest hourly wage right now is in the District of Columbia at $13.25. Here in the city of Chicago, it's $12. So if we do a rough estimate of, let's call it $15 an hour, there's 52 weeks in a year. Let's knock off 2 weeks for vacation. So you're talking 2,000 hours per year of work. That equates to $30,000 per person. Now the cost to live comfortably in the city of San Francisco is $123,000 per year. In New York City, it's $99,700. In places like that, even with a 3-member household, you're stretching it very much. My American dream is based on two factors: freedom and happiness. And I truly believe that financial freedom brings happiness, true financial freedom. I want to also tell you a little story. Back in December, I was just coming off of vacation and I got the news that my grandfather died. Immediately, without thinking about it, without telling the people that I work with, my business partners, or even having to call a boss, I was able to go back home and spend 2 weeks with my family. Of course, I did work, but all my work was done through email or phone. But every single day, I was at my grandfather's house, helping out and just being there. And that was the most important thing I could have done this last year. If I had a W-2 job, that would have been impossible for me. If you like what you've heard here today, please comment on what your American dream is and what you're passionate about. Like and subscribe to the channel and share this video. Also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And join me next week where you get to meet the people that have been telling me what to do all my life. And I still don't listen. Household incoming. Incoming. I don't care what your Republican stance is.